Maura Schaefer from Bursting Barriers in Education here, and we're talking about Individualized Education Plans, or IEPs, and 504 plans for children who have ADHD. So let's start with what happens in schools. So sometimes a student is referred for special education testing and goes through the evaluation process. Other times, even before the evaluation, the team may suggest starting with a 504 plan to see if that provides the support your child needs, rather than jumping straight into special education. So a school might say, hey, let's begin with a 504 plan and see if that helps. In other cases, the school starts right away with a referral for special education, and decisions are made based on what comes out of the assessments, the evaluation. So let's talk through the differences between IEPs and 504 plans. So the biggest difference is the governing law. So IEPs fall under the Individuals with Disabilities Education Act, IDEA, which is managed through the Department of Education. So if your child's IEP isn't being followed, it can be enforced through due process, meaning you can take legal action through the courts. On the other hand, a 504 plan is part of the Rehabilitation Act of 1973, enforced by the Office of Civil Rights. It cannot be enforced through due process. That's a key difference between the two. And then consent and participation. For both an IEP and a 504 plan, the school needs your written consent to begin any evaluations. They cannot proceed with testing unless you agree. For an IEP, parents are required to be part of the IEP team. The school must invite you to the meeting and make at least 3 documented attempts to include you if you're not able to attend. With a 504 plan, however, the school can develop the plan without parent participation. Your involvement isn't required. Also, for an IEP, the school must get your written consent before any special education services can begin. So once the evaluation is complete and the team decides to move forward, you'll receive the IEP document. You must sign it to indicate your agreement with the placement and services. Only after that can the school begin delivering services. So eligibility requirements. To qualify for an IEP, your child must meet 3 criteria. Have a disability that meets IDEA criteria, which we've discussed earlier, show a significant impact on educational performance, and require specialized services. So that last part is key. There needs to be an identifiable need for specialized instruction. For example, if your child struggles with reading, they may receive reading intervention. That's a specialized service. In the case of ADHD, it might be different. Your child might need help with organization, executive functioning, or planning. These challenges often affect writing tasks as well, like essays or multi-step assignments. So a child with ADHD might qualify for specialized services, such as having a special education teacher deliver specialized instruction within the classroom or as a pullout in the special education environment. This might be during writing time, for example, and that might happen once a week or 5 times a week, depending on the need. But it's all written in the IEP, exactly how much time and how often. So there's no required minimum amount of time for special education services. Even 10 minutes a week of organizational support from the special education teacher who serves as the child's case manager can count as a specialized service. So the important thing is that the child must qualify for and need some type of specialized instruction, specialized service in order to receive an IEP. So typically we call this SDI, Specially Designed Instruction. With a 504 plan, the child does not receive specialized services. There's no need to meet the same eligibility requirements as an IEP. Okay. Plan components and review. So these were examples of specialized instruction, which we went through. Plan components and review. So an IEP is a written document that includes accommodations, annual goals, which are measured and updated yearly, specialized educational services, a reevaluation every 3 years. So every 3 years, the school must reach out to let you know it's time for a reevaluation. So this may involve additional testing, or the team, which includes you, may agree that the student continues to qualify without needing any further testing. Additionally, the IEP is reviewed at least once a year. During that meeting, the team reviews past goals and sets new ones. So a 504 plan, by contrast, is also a written plan, but not all school districts write them down since it's not a legal requirement. Most districts do, but they don't have to. A 504 plan typically includes accommodations, but no annual goals. There's no legal requirement to review it on a specific timeline. So for IEPs, the plan includes specific start and end dates, and a new meeting must be held before the end date each year. 504 plans require only periodic evaluation. There's no fixed schedule. Most schools do review them annually, and some will contact parents, but it's not required by law. So just a little review. A little summary. IEPs provide more structured, enforceable support with specialized services. 504 plans provide accommodations, but do not include instructional services. Both require consent, but differ greatly in parent role and legal requirements. And then what's next? Next up, a deeper dive into the individual education plans. We're going to talk about sections, accommodations, goals, and services.